Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sure, all members are present. I'm going to read a statement here in regards to public comment policy. If there is anyone from the public that wants to make a comment to the board, they will need to go over to the table and read the script and fill out the form to make a public comment. And the table is right over there, and the forms and the writing utensils are over there. At the end, we will reserve about 30 minutes for public comment, but you will only get 3 minutes to speak on your topic. The board will not respond unless the chair allows it. Okay, moving right along. We got a lot of reading here to do today, a lot of proclamations. So it's a busy, busy month. So I'll start out with the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second. Eller,
What about 3B?
Supervisor, or that's what I'm gonna just hear in just a second. Supervisor Jorgensen. I need to strike 3B. And you was concur with that?
I do.
First and second.
Yeah.
Okay. You get that, Erica?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, Dr. Elliott, medical examiner, Cody Payers. They don't have any listed on here. Is there new hires in here?
You know, I think we're here today, for,
No, we need to do a thing with new hires.
oh, I'm sorry.
You want to start being a new hire again?
No. Why not?
Yeah, why not? But I agree, Doc, why not? No, so they should list them here, but I apologize for that. So we got Dr. Alec, medical examiner, Cody Payne, director, chief medical examiner, inspector, Felisa Luchek. Sorry about that. Coordinator, chief deputy medical examiner, and Kaylin Knight. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, and then medical examiner, Madeline Clark. Is that correct?
Cool.
Not a medical examiner, but here with Iowa Donor Network with them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, relations coordinator, Iowa Donor Network. Gotcha. Presentation on the legacy award to the medical examiners department. Okay, Doc, are you gonna start this off or who's starting it off?
You know, thank you for having us today and just such a great, honor to be able to highlight my team. We have a lot of experience, expertise and tenure on our team, and it just kind of shows with, you know, our collaboration with the state and the donor network and so forth. And so, I'll turn it over to our, donor partner to kind of say what she has going on today.
So thank you so much for having me here today. Every 2 years, Iowa Donor Network will nominate agencies throughout the state for their partnership with us in helping make organ and tissue donation a reality. And I have to say, every time we do this, Pottawatomie does win the award just because Pottawatomie County Medical Examiner's Office is incredible with their collaboration with us. So they have won our Gratitude Legacy Award, and I did have the nomination form that I would like to read to everyone just to kind of showcase their amazing efforts. For years, Pottawatomie County Medical Examiner's Office has advocated for organ and tissue donation, but they continue to take it one step further. Their team has implemented organ and tissue donation advocacy into their own agency's culture. Every new hire is taken through a training process on IDN's policies and procedures, as well as instructed to call every death every time. This reinforces the notion and habit of calling Iowa Donor Network for every death, which in turn gives every family the opportunity for donation. Pottawatomie County Medical Examiner Office continues to be a top performing ME office across the state of Iowa with their timely referral calls. Team members are also always willing to offer insight on how they embed organ, tissue, and eye donation into their own policy. I've spoken with members of the team for several hours over the course of 2024 and how to better understand ME and MEI culture so that Iowa Donor Network can improve our process and approach in reaching out to other medical examiner offices across the state. We continually refer to Pottawatomie County ME office at our IACME conference, which is the medical examiner conference, every fall, and their best practices when teaching about ME and MEI roles in the donation process. Through their advice and partnership, Iowa Donor Network is now starting our first ever MEI Donation Advocacy Committee to help identify areas of improvement across the state. This will better help IDN identify issues from frontline staff in the MEI world. Much of the growth and advice we now offer these medical examiner offices across the state is due to the pioneering and efforts of Pottawatomie County Medical Examiner's Office. I cannot express enough gratitude for all the help and wisdom they have given IDN over the years. Pottawatomie County referred 123 deaths to Iowa Donor Network in 2024, which resulted in 9 tissue donors. To help emphasize what an incredible impact this is, one tissue donor alone can impact between 50 to 300 different individuals. So I did the math for you guys because for me, math's not easy, but this is around 450 to 2,700 potential lives forever changed because those donors said yes. And they were only given that opportunity to say yes because Pottawatomie County called in those referrals to us. In 2025, the year-to-date data does reflect that they have called 67 deaths to Iowa Donor Network, which has resulted in 5 tissue donors thus far. Once again, helping to honor these tissue donors and further their legacies. I would like to share a quick quote from an Iowan donor family. She lost her husband and shared with us that quote, "When you die on your tombstone, it's going to have the date of your birth and a dash and the date of your death. It's what you do with that dash in between that really makes a difference." So through donation, it almost makes me feel like his dash has gotten extended a little bit more. On the other side of his death date, there is still a dash for him because he lives on through other people. It makes me feel good knowing that these people's dashes are just a little bit longer. They got a little bit more opportunity to live and love and impact others. So in conclusion, I cannot say thank you enough to the entire Pottawatomie County Medical Examiner team. Donation extends a person's legacy through others, and that can only happen when people like you guys call in these steps. There is no legal requirement for medical examiner agencies actually to call us. Only CMS has that regulation for hospitals. So this team is truly going above and beyond to help honor the wishes of the donors in your community. Thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts here at Iowa Donor Network, and congratulations on your award.
St. Louis logo on that thing.
It is, I am a St. Louis native, so.
They changed their colors.
Oh, so this is actually a Donate Life mug from the OPO down there. They partnered with the Busch Stadium to have an event for the donors there, and my brother's girlfriend works there, so I was lucky.
So I've never seen the Cardinals coated blue or over it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll talk back too. Yeah, should you holding it? Thank you.
Thank you.
Big coincidence.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I don't think it's right that valuable, but it's pretty valuable. Yeah, good to see y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Your team.
Yeah, thanks for your support.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Did we introduce all of your team? Is everybody?
Oh, yeah, Cody can do that. Cody, you want to introduce everybody? We had a great showing come up, you know, and it just shows the engagement of our team. They all have full-time jobs outside of this job, and they're on call different times and so forth. And so thought it was important enough to be here today. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, so here we, you guys all know Felicia. This is Brittany. She's one of our newer investigators. And then this is Kayla Knight. He's been with us since 21. So he's got a lot of experience so far, a lot of knowledge.
Thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate you letting us take a little time today.
Yeah.
No problem.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Anytime we're getting those, Doc.
All right.
Okay. Nice to get those
Thanks, Madeline.
recognitions. Okay, Suzanne Watson, Director and CEO of Community Services. What other title you want? Discussion and or decision to approve and sign proclamation designating the month of May 2025 as Mental Health Awareness Month.
All right, well, I'm honored to be able to make this request of you. This was a group effort. But I thought it would be good to just remind everybody how many departments touch mental health for Pottawatomie County. So as you know, community services kind of got its start in 1992, but before that, we were paying bills for mental health needs in the community way back into the 1900s. So, but we've been providing case management, service coordination. Our new term will be navigation since 1992 as we move kind of from case management to becoming the region and now to the new disability access point starting in July. So we're honored that we can continue to work with people with significant mental health needs. As well as public health, you know, they work with all kinds of wellness initiatives within the community, and mental health is always one thing that they bring forward. Our veterans department, who work with so many people who have made so many sacrifices and end up having some struggles with mental health needs. So that's really important as well. We have a very active wellness committee in the county who always brings forth wellness, mental health issues during the month of May. So we appreciate them as well. And just the importance of our entire community recognizing that physical health is important, but mental wellness is just as important as our overall physical health. So I think we just take this month to make sure that people know that it is okay to talk about mental health, that we continue to break the stigma in whatever manner we can. So that's where we ask you if you would approve our mental health proclamation for the month of May.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Chairman Belt,
Aye.
Supervisor Shea,
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Okay, so before I start this, probably if you haven't, there was a family in Nebraska, a little town, that I think it was the father decided to allow the family to move on. That's in serious mental health. Seemed like they asked for it for a long time. Which all get forward. And they died, so that was very recent. So hopefully we can come at probably one of the largest things in US as far as people's mental health and awareness. So whereas Mental Health Awareness Month is observed annually in May to increase understanding of mental health and its impact on individuals and communities, including the 1 in 5 Iowan adults who experience a mental health condition. And whereas an estimated 44% of residents detained in jails are experiencing a mental health illness, often with co-occurring substance use disorders. And whereas suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death among young adults in the United States. And whereas Pottawatomie County, Iowa, and all counties serve are as a safety net for residents in need. And whereas Pottawatomie County is proud to join the Iowa Healthiest State Initiative and the Make It Okay community campaign aimed at reducing stigma by starting conversations and increasing understanding about mental illness. And whereas we acknowledge the need for equitable, appropriate, and accessible mental health resources and pledge to amplify existing resources and increase connections. Whereas with the treatment, those with mental health conditions can recover and lead full and productive lives. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed that the Pot County Board of Supervisors does hereby declare May 2025 as Mental Health Awareness Month and encourages all citizens, community agencies, organizations, businesses, and schools within Pottawatomie County to increase awareness and understanding of mental health. The steps that our citizens can take to protect their mental health and the need for appropriate and accessible services and support for all the people with mental health conditions and their family members. Be it further proclaimed that the Pot County Courthouse will be lit green from May 18th to the 31st in alignment with the green being the designated color for mental health awareness as a symbol of hope, renewal, growth, and positive recovery. Approved on this day, 13th of May, 2025. Anything else?
Thank you for presenting.
We,
Thanks, Suzanne.
Thank you for your team that showed up to support this too. Appreciate that.
are we taking a picture of this one? Yes, please.
Please.
I got my green ribbon.
So I get a point there.
Everybody's about the sheriff. Yeah, I mean.
Why did you send a message out?
Supposed to wear it almost.
I'm making another
Green.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Did they
I-
did we get the proclamation? Who's got the
Yeah, where's
proclamation? Who's got it? Who's got it? Proclamation? Oh, good. You gotta sign it?
Next to you with your bright green.
Mary Ann.
Have a break.
Second, gotta get signed here.
The official.
That's the
Official,
folder.
official.
There we go.
You know how to work that, Jenna?
You look like you do.
She said I just pushed the button.
Yeah,
So
kind of give it like a gentle tap to try and focus, and then we should be good.
Pressure.
That's,
Yeah.
that's it, focus. Focus, stay focused.
Thank you, ladies.
Yep.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
That's hers.
Oh, this is yours?
I don't know. Where do we do
That's
those?
hers.
Okay. Cool.
Jeanette's gonna want a copy.
Jeanette's gonna want it. Yeah.
You handle that.
Good. Next, Andy Brown, but it's gonna be Steve Winchell, right? Serving as Andy's assistant, discussion and their decision to approve and sign proclamation designating the week of May 11th through the 17th, 2025 as National Police Week.
So move.
Second.
Can that be, traded off as Sheriff and Deputy Week? What do you guys like that word, please? So Shay and Supervisor Bill.
Whitman beat me.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Wow. Let's
It
do
doesn't
it.
matter.
Okay.
It's a second.
Okay, roll call.
Chairman Belt.
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Shay.
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller.
Hi.
Okay. National Police Week Proclamation 2025, May 11th through the 17th, 2025, whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in the communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Potawatomi County Sheriff's Office. Whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, there are currently more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty, including 5 members of the Potawatomi County Sheriff's Office. Whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in DC. Whereas hundreds of new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including officers killed in 2024 and officers killed in the previous years. whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers National Fund's 37th Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2025. Whereas on May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all the fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half staff. Therefore, be it resolved that the Pot County Board of Supervisors will observe May 11th through the 17th, 2025 as National Police Week in Potawatomi County, and will light the Potawatomi County Courthouse blue as part of the public salute to the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in the communities across the nation. Signed this date, 13th of May, 2025.
We have issues with going green or blue on the lights, aren't we?
That's why green doesn't start until the 18th. So.
Oh,
it's
okay,
blue.
okay,
So
good.
you notice the blue on here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Notice the blue.
that had me worried for a while.
Steve wants to say
Yeah.
something.
Well, look at Steve. You ready to talk?
Yeah.
Steve? No? You ready to talk?
No, the speech.
Okay.
Sheriff Brown's in DC this week for Police Week, why he's not here. He's out in Washington DC, part of our ISSDA Honor Guard. So they're welcoming families that are coming out in airplanes at the airports in DC. He's part of that group. There's hundreds of families that come out, so he's in uniform, his Class A Honor Guard uniform, and I'm sure he's very comfortable today, so that's what he's gone this week, and he's seen served the Honor Guard. Welcoming families to their airplanes, that's why he's not here, so we appreciate it. We're
Yep.
to have appreciate the population.
Okay. Yeah, are you the only one here there? Then?
Want to make John get up, take a picture with him.
Okay, that's awful nice.
Is he playing bagpipes out there?
No, I'm working in the airport. He's
Okay.
families.
Okay, well, you guys want to come on up and get her done?
We'll make sure that the flag is lowered to half staff on May 15th.
Okay.
Yes, that's good.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Good seeing you.
That's what Yep.
You got it. Thank you. Maybe.
Okay. If I get you, if I get you first name.
Yeah, I'll mind you.
Okay.
To Susan, she's got the other one.
Okay. Abigail Osterhaus, is that correct?
Yep.
Christy Hagan, Ron Legan,
Fine.
line? Okay. Megan Ballard, Heartland Family Service, discussion and decision to approve and sign proclamation designate the month of May as Meth Prevention Month.
I'll move. Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Chairman Belt,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller.
Aye.
Supervisor Shea.
Aye.
Good. May Meth Prevention Month, whereas methamphetamine abuse continues to destroy individuals, families, and communities in Iowa. And whereas addiction shows no boundaries, it can happen to anyone, attorneys, doctors, laborers, teachers, mothers, fathers, and students, regardless of where they live, economic status, education, upbringing, or potential. And whereas this drug can be found in every region of the state, and wherever you find methamphetamine, you find the increased crime rates and child abuse and neglect. And whereas methamphetamine addiction not only destroys the lives of the user, but also the community around them, placing an increased burden on the Iowa's public safety, public health, human services, and health, education, employment, and treatment system. And whereas significant strides have been made in reducing the manufacturing and distribution of methamphetamine in local communities and through important, but the demand for and supply of methamphetamine remains. And whereas every day thousands of young Americans experiment with methamphetamine for the first time, and for many, this decision has a profound impact on their mental and physical health and well-being. And whereas Iowa has the power to prevent substance use and change the lives of countless Iowans struggling with methamphetamine addiction, with the commitment, support, and involvement of the entire community. And now, therefore, we, Pot County Board of Supervisors, hereby proclaim May 2025 to the Methamphetamine Prevention Month. In Potawatomi County, we encourage all Potawatomi County citizens and communities to join in this observance. Signed this date, 13th of May, 2025. Okay, anybody want to speak?
Yeah, thank you. And we want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here. I'm a prevention specialist with Heartland Family Services, and my specific role right now is I work off of government dollars from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, working on strategies to deal with the opioid and meth crisis and issues. So I won't, adding on to what Scott just said, a little bit of data that you might find interesting is currently the meth use in Iowa is increasing, and it is increasing at a more rapid rate than most other states in the country. So I spoke with the Iowa Drug Task Force a few weeks ago, and when I bring it down to Council Bluffs in 2024, they responded to 24 overdoses in Council Bluffs. 7 of those were deaths, and 6 out of those 7 were from meth. So that we also know that the meth that's now coming over into our area right here is 98% pure. So the chemicals that are being used in there are extremely toxic. Any somewhat regular use of that meth is going to go into a mental illness very quickly. I gave you, and I have handouts there to save time, but from the DEA fact sheets and information on just exactly what meth does to the brain and body. So we're trying to get an awareness out there. And how do we take action? Part of my grant, in prevention, we look at the importance of treatment and recovery. So backing onto all the mental health work, and this is mental health awareness, any kind of laws and things that you can do that can increase mental health services in your community here are essential, as well as now we know how essential recovery services are in the prevention efforts against meth use. So anything that you can provide that will increase funding and opportunities for more recovery services would really be valuable in taking action. I put a flyer out and gave one to Susan. So next Monday, May 19th, I will be doing a training at Full Circle Recovery Center here in Council Bluffs. And this one is designed around understanding addiction and recovery. So it will give you really great information on how it affects families and the communities and the individual. And then how can we take a look at taking action and increasing our mental health and recovery services. So we really, it is a really, really serious issue and people are dying. And just the chemicals themselves are really affecting our environment, which is a lesser important fact than the humanity. But so thank you, really, really, we really thank you for helping us to get this awareness out.
Are they manufacturing it here again?
That is a good question. Yes, we know that there are some small cartels around here that are doing that, and some are somehow producing a combination, that there's a combination of meth infused with the fentanyl. So we do know that. We would be remiss not to share that with you, that that is happening. The big bulk, though, is coming from Mexico, from the Sinaloa cartel. And it is 90, I mean, it is really, really bad. It's 98% pure.
Is the border clampdown helping us? Or
It's showing some help. But I think it's that increase in awareness of, but it gets here. It just gets here. And over in our area, we serve Mills, Potawatomi, and Harrison County. What's happening over here is there's runners that come over that bring the meth. So they're coming over from the small cartels that we have in our little pocket area, as well as getting it from the really powerful meth that's coming over from Mexico. So, and it's a great pathway. And it's been happening for many years. So they know the ins and outs of how to do the runners of getting that over into our county. So, if you have any other questions, Susan has my contact information, my phone and email. So please, if you do have any questions, please reach out to me. I'll come meet with you individually. I can do trainings at any clubs you belong to. I can come to one of your Board of Supervisors meetings and give you a training. And one of the other strategies that I do is just trying to get that of bringing community entities and leaders together on the same page and working together. Yes, Jeff.
I had a chance to talk to a drug enforcement officer some years ago.
Yes.
And he was describing the pathway for a lot of these drugs coming into this country. Mexico, going straight north to Grand Island, Nebraska. Grand Island is part of the Interstate 80 network that goes east and west. So basically, these drugs travel on the interstate.
Yes, they do. Yes, yes.
To destinations.
And thank you for sharing that, because you just said the east and west and north and south. Our circle right here is one of the hubs of the United States because of the way 80 and 35 cross over. So that puts us thank you for bringing that up. That puts us extremely vulnerable because they're crossing over right in our CB Omaha metro area. Yeah. So that is still happening. Yeah. Thank you. So thank you again for allowing us to be here.
Anything else?
Nasty stuff.
What?
Good picture.
It is nasty stuff. Yeah.
Set the paper. Blue
Oh, I'm sorry.
picture.
But yes. Thank you.
Fire.
On the train.
Put that on my phone.
Thanks for all you do, ladies.
Thank you for coming up.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. We really do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Good to see you, Susan. Thank you. Thank you.
And then policy.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Corey Little, Lieutenant Sheriff's Office, and Sean Jensen, Sergeant Sheriff's Office, discussion and or decision to approve body scanner. Is the body scanner the one that we have bought not too long ago then?
8 years ago.
Well, not too long ago. So is that the one we're talking about?
We're talking about replacing it.
Yeah, no, we never had one before that one. Right, okay.
So we're here today. Obviously, I submitted a proposal for us to purchase a new body scanner. I gave you guys some background on that. I can dive into that a little more. Early in 2023, we were notified that we would no longer have service support for the current scanner that we have. And they were also not manufacturing parts anymore. So
Who was the manufacturer of that?
the original one, actually, I don't know. What, you said Phillips? Phillips.
So they told them, sent you a nasty gram and said, we're no longer servicing the equipment on.
Well, and it was out of warranty. There was really nothing for us to hold them to.
Sure.
So we were notified of that and the discussion came that we would probably have to find a replacement. Obviously parts run out. We were not gonna be able to fix it. So sometime in early November, we made the decision to start looking and getting our options together. What I submitted to you has all the comparisons between the different models that I had worked through. To me, there was a clear winner out of it as far as price, new technology, and practicality for our facility.
Are these names on here, are those the manufacturers? This Intercept, whatever it is, and B-Scan, and,
That's not the manufacturers, those are the models.
okay, who are the manufacturers?
I don't have that information in front of me.
Can we find out how long they've been in business and how long they're gonna maybe stay in business?
I can tell you about the recommendation that I made, Line B. They've been in the industry for over 20 years. They've got background in airport scanning, small guard post scanning, security measures, and they're obviously in a lot of facilities across the United States.
What's the turnaround for one?
I'm sorry,
What's the turnaround for one of them? If I order it today, do I get it tomorrow?
90 days.
90 days.
That's what they claim is going to be the maximum. I've got the quote in front of you guys. The initial quote that we had was around $265,000 between some negotiation. I've obviously got that quote knocked down to the 239.
So the other one's a boat anchor then?
More or less, but they're going to give us,
Yeah, they're gonna trade us in, aren't they?
yeah, I may have told them that I had other scanning companies that were willing to trade it in. The reality is there's only one, but we did get some credit for that. And they normally actually charge to remove old equipment. So that was a plus.
So they're gonna, if we go with this one, they're gonna remove the old equipment.
Yes,
And then who's gonna give you the money for the old one?
it's factored into the quote, so it's minus off the price.
So the buyer here.
Yeah, it's credited against the quote.
Okay.
Okay,
So this, if I'm reading this right, that's a horizontal one. Is that what you're getting?
Yes, that's the type of wave scan it is.
Is that what we have now, horizontal one or not?
It is, but it's a sliding platform, so it has some inconsistencies if the subject moves. This is a stationary one, so they walk into it. We don't have to worry about somebody being drunk and falling off the platform. It's steady.
These vertical ones, what's those what the airports use or something?
Some of them do. It's just the type of scan. So like horizontal is going to pass through, obviously horizontally. Vertical actually takes more of an angle and shoots down through. And that can sometimes lead to distorted images. Again, if somebody's got the wrong position, and I can tell you at the jail, a lot of times people don't like to stay in the position that we need them. Yeah, strange, huh?
Then what's this one they called a fan beam?
Fan beam,
Yeah. They got,
basically like a moving scan.
oh, okay.
So is your recommendation because of the horizontal scan versus the vertical scan?
I like the idea of it because having worked booking for a number of years myself, I've had to rescan people multiple times because of that sliding platform and the type of scanning that it is. But the primary reason that I'm making this recommendation is because of some of the technology they're using for contraband detection. They utilize software that's called AI, AEYE, And what it's going to actually do is it's going to highlight different items on the person. Right now, we rely on our officers to just view the image that's in front of them. And I can tell you, none of them are radiologists, so we have to trust that they can identify and say, hey, that doesn't look like it should be in the human body. This software will actually highlight it and color things that look unnatural on the body. That's my primary interest in this, because it's going to allow our staff to see things more clearly. Don't get me wrong, this is not a catch-all. We still have our protocols for pat downs and searches before people go upstairs. But this is going to give our staff another tool to help protect themselves. Should we have somebody make it through to our booking floor with a knife or, God forbid, a gun, like this is going to light it up red and we're going to be able to respond a lot quicker. Another thing with this scanner versus the one we have now, the scan has to completely run through before we get an image. This is going to live scan. So if I have somebody up in there and it's taking the scan and all of a sudden I see something light up red, I'm going to be able to get to them several seconds quicker than I could have with the current scanner. And, you know, in those emergency situations, those dangerous situations, those seconds matter.
Have you actually seen a live demo of this particular model in the workplace?
We did a demo via Zoom because they're located out of Texas and it wasn't practical for us to drag everybody down there for the demonstration. So we did see a demonstration of it. I've got different images that they provided. One of the things I was really interested in is scanning wheelchairs. So I was kind of curious what that would look like. I did not submit that, but I do have that information.
Have you talked to any end users that actually have it in their facility
Yes, I've contacted 3 different facilities.
and they were all satisfied with
Yeah.
the support, the results and the images that they were getting? And
Yeah, I didn't have any complaints. The only thing that one of them had discussed is, you know, they've had one instance where like something was messed up with their software. It didn't actually affect the scanning, but it affected like their data bank, like how that information gets input. So when we scan somebody, it's tied to their name and their specific information. But from what they told me, the issue was fixed within 24 hours. So, I mean, they've got 24/7 support for us. Yes.
The warranty. It's a 12-month warranty.
If you look at the quote, we have also negotiated for extended warranty. So it's going to be
How
covered 6 years total.
Okay, that's.
And what they offer that a lot of other companies don't is after that term is up, we can, they only do it year by year, but we can buy additional warranty out after that. So as long as they're still in business, we should be able to continue protecting our asset.
Parts, labor, everything.
Yeah.
I'm not a scanner technician, but, so I am going to say that. You in this.
Appreciate that.
So your last statement a little bit ago was, as long as they're in business, so when did they start in business?
I don't have the specific date. They've been in business approximately 23 years. And I see no signs of them closing up doors because, like I said, they're kind of on the cutting edge of some of that newer technology. They seem very forward thinking.
Yeah.
I have no reason to believe that this is going to be something that we have to discuss in the near future at all.
Probably just, the thing would be that they either gobble somebody else up or somebody gobbles them up, but they'll still be there. This might be under a different name. So.
I served on that committee with them, saw the demo. Pretty impressive. One of the things Corey pointed out to me that made a lot of difference was the software is very similar to the software they're using right now. And, you know, all these things have a shelf life, and, you know, this has been in since 2017, and name of the game is to keep everybody safe. So I'll move that. You know, we have
I'll
set aside funds in the capital plan to handle this
Okay,
purchase.
good with that?
Yeah, I think we have some interest that we gained on our type of funds that be available that we've dedicated to using for this.
Okay, well, I mean, we budgeted in our capital plan
Yep.
for this, so. Corey, the only question I have for you is that,
Sure, but
the jail management system integration, you don't think you need that?
With us having Central Square, obviously that was originally Zerker, that's countywide. Integration with that has proven very difficult with some of our other systems. There's really no reason that we need to tie that data system to this. All the information we have is going to be held in that PC that's connected to the scanner. It's not something we need to access elsewhere.
Okay.
So that would be a pretty pricey additional thing that may not work the way it's supposed to. So I don't see why we would create a headache for an integration we don't need.
Same with, oh, go ahead. Sue.
No.
Same with the fingerprint.
We already have systems in place for reading people's fingerprints. Other agencies, I'll actually bring something in. So again, there's no reason to put that cost on the county.
Okay.
Corey, I appreciate you answering my questions yesterday. One of those was on the operating system, which is a Windows 10 Pro. It's what is written out here, and we all know Windows 10 is ending life later this year. And you said that it was Windows 11 compatible.
Yes, they're going to upgrade it prior to delivery.
All right. And have you talked with our IT department about this?
I have not specifically talked to them yet.
Okay, I think the recommendation from IT is they would like to be involved in all decisions that involve operating systems, just so that we can make sure that they can support internally anything that you have. And I think you had an answer to that.
Yeah, honestly, there's no data transfer. There's nothing. In a lot of ways, this is going to be a plug and play with the system that we already have. So outside of the operating system that they're upgrading, like updating, knowing that it's not going to be supported anymore, there's really not anything that IT would need to be involved in. Obviously, I will speak with them, make sure there's something like nothing I'm missing with this, but it should be plug and play.
you're probably having some discussions with Tony, aren't you?
I honestly, no.
Good.
No. It's a self-contained system. It's not on the network. So there's no risk of data breach or anything like that.
What happens if, so if it goes bad, you have to get a part, so do you go back to the old school way of checking people in then?
And until we get the parts, yes. And again, this is not a replacement for what we've already done. This is just another security measure, another
Yeah.
opportunity to catch things. So, I mean, our staff are already pretty thorough. So I have confidence that we would continue the same protocol.
Yeah. Any other discussion?
Well, I definitely support updating the body scanner. I think it's necessary that we stay up on the technology, and I appreciate all of the research that you guys put into it to make the right decision.
I'd love to tell you it was fun, but it wasn't.
It never is.
Oh, I get it.
That's why,
Thanks for doing it.
that's why you know that what you came up with was so valuable, because the process was painful to work through.
No, it's important. It's about the safety of our officers, the public we serve. I just think it's a huge discredit to what we're attempting to do out there if we don't put in the work to make sure we're getting the top quality equipment.
Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, hearing none, motion passes.
Thanks, you guys.
Mitch will get that squared away.
You order that today, how are you gonna, when are you gonna?
Do what, sorry?
When are you gonna order that, Corey?
Is there something, do I
When I
need
get back to the office.
All right, I like the way it works.
do I need to sign something? A contract or something?
No, there's no contract
Okay.
drafted. I just have to quote, but I'll get the wheels turning if there's something that you guys need to sign.
Okay, well, yeah, you have to let me know. I know where you're at, so
Thanks, everybody, for
thank
coming
you.
in.
Appreciate your time, efforts. Keep us all safe. Okay, John Rasmussen, engineer, Tina Contitos, operations administrator, secondary roads, Adam. Here, Henry, After discussion and decision to approve geothermal consultation and service agreement with Aptiv Energy.
All right, good morning.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we constructed the Roads Operations Center, we had a geothermal system installed. So Adam here with Afton approached us to see if he could find some federal funding for us having that and under the, what? Louder? Oh, sorry, Brian, I'll talk louder.
Yeah, thank you.
So he approached us to see if he could find some federal funding under the Inflation Reduction Act 2022. So I'll kind of let him explain the agreement, answer any questions and go from there.
Okay. Thank you, Tina.
Yep.
Again, so my name's Adam Herring. I'm president of Afton Energy in Omaha. Thanks for your time this morning. This program has actually been around since the 1990s, and it came by the way of tax credits for solar, wind, and geothermal systems. The Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 had one sentence in there that allowed tax exempt entities, including counties, to get the full value of the tax credit in cash, which is an unbelievable opportunity for tax exempt entities. So our group, we develop energy projects and we consult with different groups. I've used this program since 2011. But what we found is there was a bunch of counties, cities, municipalities, and public schools that were installing these geothermal systems and not going after the grant dollars. You are eligible for a guaranteed 30% of the total project cost. And then there's some additional bonus credits that you may be eligible for. We won't know that until we get into it. It's not in a low income area, right? I mean, so that I know that one won't happen. So there's a possibility for another 10%, which would be 40% of the total project cost. What we do is our engineers, we go through the plans, interview the contractors. We want to count every bolt, wire, and nut that goes into that geothermal system. And just for example, you have radiant heat flooring, right, in the floors, right? That's part of the system. So we want to get to that total project cost that's responsible, but as high as we, per the IRS regs. And then you guys are eligible for 30% of that, possibly 40%. We put go in.
How do you get paid?
So what we said, yeah, so most of the time we're building and installing these projects, for us. So in these instances, what I've done, this project is complete. We would get started on this right away. And what I've done is I make our fee contingent on your grant award. So it's a percentage of your grant award. This is a new program for counties and municipalities. Obviously, just with all the political stuff going on, people are like, is this going away or whatnot? So for existing projects, our fee is contingent. It's a percentage of your grant award. If we're unsuccessful, we get a percentage of 0%. And we won't invoice you until you guys receive your funds. So that's what we've done for our tax exempt customers. I think it's fair. It also shows our confidence in the program.
Sounds like a no-lose situation.
Yeah. The other thing is it's not like an application where we got to cross our fingers. This program doesn't have a cap on it. You guys installed the geothermal system. You're eligible. It's just about doing it. It's about maximizing your opportunity at this point by doing it the right way and the responsible way.
What was our total project cost?
So, and that's a great question, right? And if you talk to your architect, they're going to tell you one thing. If you talk to your contractor, they're going to tell you one thing. We have to go by the IRS regulations, right? And they allow us to take a percentage of your site work. Obviously, your geothermal well, all your plumbing, all your duct work. So that's what we'll be doing, right? That's our service to you, is coming up with that cost, right? Per the IRS rules and regulations. There's an art to it, I would say.
But the system is working fine the way it is, correct?
Yeah, this isn't
Yeah.
changing the system.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ballpark figure.
So, everyone's different. You guys are going to be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean,